Project Success 101, the system. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about the overall framework for the integrated production control system so that you can see how it all works together and what key things you have to have on your project to be successful. And so if you're interested in seeing that from a global perspective and knowing what it takes to implement well, then you've come to the right place. So first of all, I want you to know that I'm in a beautiful recording studio. I love the folks over here at Be the Hero with Nate Woodbury and the team, and we have a great time. And we're in a house, and it has an HVAC system, a heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system. And it works as a system. So system is correct. That's a correct terminology. And if you think about it, it's not implemented in individual components, meaning you can't say, oh, I have a thermostat on the wall, now I've got cool air. No. Oh, I've got a condenser, now I've got cool air. No. Now I've got hot water or gas to the house, now I've got hot air. No. You have to have the system. If you think about it, how would it work if you didn't have power, if you didn't have the thermostat, if you didn't have controls cabling, if you didn't have the unit itself, if you didn't have a condenser, if you didn't have exhaust, if you didn't have gas, if you didn't have, you get what I'm, or if you didn't have duct, if you didn't have these things, even walls to keep the cool air or the hot air inside, if you didn't have these things, it wouldn't work. Right? So one thing goes down, the whole system goes down. And that's what people are not seeing about lean construction is they're like, oh, go implement a pull plan, go do this, go do this. These are one-off topics that must be put into a system. And so I'm going to explain the integrated production control system now and help you to implement as we produce these videos. And the book, Elevating Construction First Planners, which is Senior Superintendent book number 2, comes out in August. You'll be able to implement this in every aspect of your project. So let's go through this. The first part of the system that I want to talk about is the external factors. So I'm going to draw it like this because there's a couple of different topics here. Number one, you have got to have the right paradigm. What that means is the owner of your project, meaning the client that you work for, has got to really care about people and want to build lean. The other people on the team, including your own company representatives and the owner's rep, must have the right paradigm and mindset to want to finish the project well and respect people. The third thing that you have here is that you must know the goal of the system, and the goal of the system must be proper. Meaning that if you have an owner's rep that's grandstanding and cutting and slashing budgets or wanting to make a name for him or herself or rush and push and panic, then the goal might actually be for that person to make a name for themselves or to hurt the contractor or to have longevity on the job or whatever. It may not be to actually finish. So if you think about it, not every job has the goal of I want to finish on time. Sometimes it's an alternate goal. The fourth one over here is you have to have the right structure to your project, which is highly dictated or heavily dictated by the owner, and you have to have the right rules. So I call this right here external factors, okay, in the system. And these external factors must be in place for you to do your job, okay? So this is the first part of it. The second part of it also has 5 other components, and this is called your pre-construction efforts, okay? This is where you actually design the rest of the system, and I'm going to explain this right now. So the first part of this is your proposal and interview. I've gone over this extensively in other videos, but suffice it to say this is where you win the job. Secondly, your concept and schematic design early on in the project. This is where you set the parameters and build the design team or the pre-construction team. The third one, this is when you're in schematic design, design development. This is where you're doing real-time budget, constructability, schedule updates to enable the designers. And then you start to plan the project with the builders. That means you're bringing on the supers, design assist trade partners, and then you prepare to start strong within your first 90 to 120 days on the project site, okay? So this right here is your pre-con part of the entire system, okay? Now, there's a couple key things that you need here, and I'm going to draw the foreman again because I've been doing this consistently when I talk about the integrated production control system, okay? So you want this individual with the workers to install a work package within their takt wagon, which is the intersection of their takt time and their zone, okay? So what we need here is we need a good team, and that team is comprised of building the team, balancing the team, and having individual balance. You need a good plan here, which means that you have the right planning systems with first and last planner. It means you have lean in contracts and you're managing your risks. Then you have to have a good supply chain, okay? And that means that you have a great buyout and procurement system. You're prefabricating and you're using coordination and VDC the way it ought to, and you have a great way to receive materials with a great logistics system on site. Then you must have the right culture, and the culture here is winning over the workforce, making sure we have great onboarding and orientation, and that we have a clean, safe, and organized environment. And then I've also in another video talked about training, okay? So the reason I love this is because, again, I've talked about the foremen need to install in their work package, and this gets them the people, this gets them the plan, this gets them the resources, this gets them the environment, this gets them the training. And then I also did a video on this channel about the trade partner preparation process. And that's where you have, and I'll just do trade partner preparation process, that's where you actually are onboarded from a quality and safety manner all the way over to the foreman, okay? So I hope this is coming together. You must have the right external factors, you must plan the job, but what you're planning is you've got to have these key components or you will fail, okay? Now, the key part of this here, and I hope this is really jamming, is that you must have the takt production system, okay, governing the rhythm of all of this on a takt time. So if I was to draw this, that means that you have the different trade partners, and I've drawn it in a time by location schedule, right? That means that you have the rhythm on the job in your production system, okay? So that's absolutely crucial. The other thing is you have to have takt, steering, and control, okay? And what takt, steering, and control is, it means that if you have a delay in your flow, wherever it might be inside your project, that you have ways to steer around it and recover and maintain that flow. And then the last one, and this one's really going to trip you out, is that you have to have last planner system here to make sure that the foremen are collaborating on the short interval to bring all of these things together, okay? Now, I'm going to finish strong here. Stay with me, stay with me. The foreman will do their job typically, but you have to have an accountability system. And this accountability system means that you're going to have zero tolerance, contractor grading, daily correction system, that you're going to track your team balance and your health, and that you're going to have quality at the source. And once you have the accountability system, you can start to track KPIs, whatever you choose. And we have other videos that actually I've done on this recording shoot for this channel now. So the bottom line is, if I'm looking at the system, you've got to have the right external factors, okay, for your project to do well. You've got to plan your job. These are the different systems or the system components you're actually planning that are on a rhythm, that are able to maintain their flow and recover, that are collaborated with the trade partners, and that gets your foreman what they need. Then you must have things like zero tolerance, quality at the source, trade partner grading system, right, daily correction system, and these things that I've talked about actually on this channel to hold them accountable and then track the right KPIs. So the last thing that I'll say is that this is called the Integrated Production Control System, okay? And it is comprised of the first planner system, okay? The takt production system, okay? And the last planner system. That's basically all it is. And the point that I'm trying to make here is you cannot just go say, hey, I love Last Planner, but you can't just go implement Last Planner. You have to implement all three of them together in a seamless flow if you want to make it work. Because how good is Last Planner if you don't have a plan? How good is Takt if you don't have a way to maintain the flow? How good is a First Planner system if you don't have trades that know the plan? It all works together. So just in summary, you must plan the project properly, you must put it on the right rhythm, and you must make sure that you have good collaboration with your trade partners because they are the last people in the planning cycle. This is the Integrated Production Control System. Expect a book August 1st called Elevating Construction First Planners that outlines this and any of our remaining books this year. But learn the system and know that this is what it takes to win. I love this so much, I'm going to create a Canva graphic for you. And we work with clients all the time to implement this, and it literally transforms the company and the projects. I hope you will call us in when you need us, and I hope you enjoyed this video. On we go.